Hey, thanks once again for joining me. This is going to be episode 2 today, and it's going to be another LJN comparable video. So today, or with this video, I actually do have a significant amount of figures, so just one figure will take up the entirety of this video. And with this comparable video, for those, again, just tuning in for the first time, what we do is we take a look at LJN's WWF Wrestling Action Superstars. And in this case, we're going to be looking at the Brutus the Barber Beefcake, or just simply Brutus Beefcake. He didn't actually become the barber until late 80s, early 90s anyways, long after this point. So what I like to do is start with the original figure. And once we look at the original figure, I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then of course we move on to some of the customized figures taken from that particular figure. So in Series 2, 1986, they came out with the Brutus Beefcake figure. Now, this one, actually design-wise, this is not a bad figure at all. I think Brutus Beefcake is actually the most commonly used figure as far as customization goes. I actually bought it's either Matt Hardy or Jeff, I think it's a Jeff Hardy. I don't know who the Hardy brothers are. I mean, I know the name and everything, I have their figures, but again, they started wrestling long after I stopped watching it, so not too familiar with the Hardy brothers, but I have a Hardy brother figure that's very similar to this one. Again, a lot of customizers use the Brutus Beefcake figure to model or create new characters, or just simply repaint. And with the figure, we do a 360. Some of the things that kind of stand out right off the bat: love the design of the pants, the gloves. They kind of have like this demolition type of look to it. Absolutely love it. What's kind of interesting about the figure, and when I first acquired this, I actually thought he looked like Sean Penn a little bit. Sean Penn or comedian Jay Leno. Forgot the name for a second there. How do you forget Jay Leno? So he actually passes for Jay Leno or Sean Penn, but I just thought that was so awesome. I don't know. I think that would be interesting if somebody actually took a Beefcake figure and created a Jay Leno type of mold or type of figure. Like I said, overall display wise, great figure. As a kid, I could never imagine using this. For me, having that body slam pose is so important for playability, because I think, to me, that's like probably the number one ability. Yeah, you can throw punches, little small clothesline, what have you, but overall, fighting wise, as a kid, I would use it, but I would not be a huge fan of the figure. And I'm still not, just kind of looking at it, I'm not a huge fan of the pose of the figures. But again, aesthetically, it's a fantastic piece. Trying to look at the figures, I want to bring them up in the order that I acquired them. So this one is the very first one I acquired. I think I got this back in like November. And when I bought it for a couple reasons. One, it was one of the first customs I purchased. And two, it kind of reminded me of that whole Series 3 Brutus Beefcake from Hasbro with the white zebra pants. So it was just beautifully well done. At the time that I had done my LJN tournament, I only had the original plus this one, so 99.9% of the time the customs defeated the original figure during my competition. And beautiful, beautiful colors. Absolutely love this one. They tried their best to kind of mimic the little black splotches on the figure. So not 100% correct, as far as color-wise, but I still love it. I still think it's a much better figure. Yeah, of course, like many of my figures, what I try to do is put like these little customized belts, if I can, just make them something special. Alright, so, trying to see what I got next. This was either the third or fourth one. I think this was the third one. This comes from John Ruggiero on eBay. If you look him up, the one J Ruggs 79. Now this was I think 5 or 6 figures that I bought from him initially, and what sucked is when they came in, the original shears had this color scheme, but they were damaged during transit. You know, it happens. You know, it sucks. You know, you're disappointed. He obviously made every attempt in the world to protect it, but you know, things get damaged in transit, and of course, when you got it built in like that, it's really hard to package it the right way to keep it protected. So that was damaged. I had to mail it back to him, and he fixed it for me. So he made a couple upgrades. One, he did have to change out the shears themselves, so it gave it more of this peppermint type color scheme, and I can't pull it out right now, but that is removable. I stuck that in myself. So he does have a removable accessory. What I really liked about this one is the cleanliness and smoothness of the hair. And you notice that in quite a few of his figures. They kind of have like the same smoothness of the hair design. I believe if this one had actually been a part of that tournament when I had started it, he definitely would have beat the original, and I think he would have even beat the zebra version. That is just an absolutely gorgeous piece. And it's probably one of the very few Brutus Beefcake figures that I was absolutely ecstatic to purchase. A lot of times, you know, even if it's like a Beefcake or Roddy Piper, I'm not really interested in the figure per se, but it's a customization, and I love uniqueness. I love the different color schemes and all that, so I buy them because they're available. And, you know, I get to show them off in these videos, let the viewers enjoy them, so, you know, that always, you know, brings me a lot of enjoyment as well. So this is the Mega Maniac Brutus Beefcake figure. Okay. Again, I don't remember which one came first, so I'll just cut to this one. This one, I believe, came from a seller named Sir Max-a-Lot, and from several videos ago, I did a review of the Roddy Pipers, and the Roddy Piper with the black T-shirt that said "Reality Check" on it. Sir Max-a-Lot made that one as well, and I purchased this one from Sir Max-a-Lot. I think it's kind of reminiscent of the same Mega Maniac color scheme. I mean, both done very well. Obviously, I prefer John Ruggiero's version, but that is still a beauty. Sir Max-a-Lot, the seller's name on eBay, did he make these figures himself, or did he just acquire them and then resell them? I don't know. So for the sake of this video, or for this conversation, I'm going to say that he's just simply the seller, not necessarily the artist. Either way, this is an absolutely beautiful piece. I don't know if I think in this case, because John Ruggiero's version is a lot more cartoony, because he had to, I don't know if he had to cut the head off or whatnot, but the way that he had to sculpt that mask over the face, and obviously change the hairdo and everything, I think in that instance, even though I love the mask, I still think that this, you know, obviously blends well in so much better with the LJN line as opposed to some of these versions. Either way, two incredible pieces right there. This one, I don't know what this cheetah version came from. I'm trying to think if I ever saw him in yellow. I'm sure I have. I don't remember. Maybe, if I had to guess, WCW. I'm sure the viewers, whoever's watching this, might have a little bit better idea than I do. But, again, it's one of those guys that I picked up because it's different from what I've already owned. And beautiful detail. Once again, very reminiscent. So, you know, it's just a simple color change. But you know what? It's enough that brings a lot of enjoyment. So I still like this version, obviously, because the boots, you know, put the little extra detail, whereas they just completely painted over. That's fine. I mean, great piece, and well, once again, just so they get every tick mark. All right, Brutus Beefcake, and that was Beefcake number 5. And the last piece is Beefcake number 6. This one I have his feet stuck to the to the little 4 Left 3 Creations, David Garland on Etsy. You'll find these nice LJN stands. I got his feet stuck on there, so I'm not gonna try and pull that off. You know, it's not holding nice and tight. So many things I love about this figure. So for starters, you've got this amazing accessory, and I believe that one's built in. So built-in accessory, fantastic. Additionally, someone was actually asking me about the little mesh opening on the side of his pants. I don't remember who was asking me about that, but I knew I had that figure, so I was waiting to make this video so that I could kind of answer that question a little bit. This is so well done, and if I'm not mistaken, okay, no. For a second there, I just kind of thought they changed the arm positioning over here a little bit, but not so much. It's just mostly the left arm that's, you know, obviously different. I don't know. Actually, I think fighting-wise, I kind of like the one hand arm, the arm down lower like that. Kind of like a Greg Valentine. Like, I call it dropping the hammer, even though I'm sure that's not what it's called. So this is absolutely a phenomenal figure. I don't know if I classify it as my favorite among the lot, but it's definitely among the elite among these figures. Because I'm not a huge fan of the Beefcake fighting pose, I don't know, regardless of how great the color scheme is of a figure, I don't know if I could ever classify them as elite figures, but at least among the character or among the figure itself, I could at least call it an elite among that version. And that is number 6, and unfortunately, that is the last of the Brutus Beefcake figures. Kind of like right there, Roddy Piper, Beefcake and Piper, like the two most commonly found figures. My Series 5 Hulk Hogan figures keep increasing. I think I got another one of those ever since I made my last video, or 2 more of those. So that's another one. $1 Million Man. Since I made the very first video of the series, which featured the $1 Million Man, I acquired a new custom $1 Million Man figure. So I'm thinking at the end, when I gone through all the figures and done all the series, I'd like to go back, not redo them, but I want to make one video with all the additional figures that weren't included in that particular video. And one of the things was a Ultimate Warrior. So I said when I did the Random Treasures review of their new Ultimate Warrior figure, because I had shown all the other Ultimate Warrior figures I owned, I wasn't going to make Ultimate Warrior part of the series. But I did acquire another Ultimate Warrior figure that just came in today. So I'm thinking I might include it as part of the series. But he's probably going to be like one of the last things I talk about. That way it's enough separation between the videos. So that might come around video 90, 95, 100, who knows. It depends on how many videos in between I create. So 13 minutes, 40 seconds, which is great because that's about the timeline I want for these type of videos. Hover around 12-15 minutes. Long enough for people to get a lot of enjoyment, but not so short to the point where, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to make them. Alright, thank you everyone for watching once again. As always, I truly appreciate your support. Be sure to let, send a message if you'd like. I love hearing from you guys, and I like to respond. And goodbye for now, and I'll talk to y'all soon.